So one of the things I get to do that I love so much in my job is to interview people who inspire me and who are making major changes in the world. And today we have Jill Roach. Hey, Jill.
Hi, Patrick.
Jill is with the Hunts Point Alliance for Children, which is a nonprofit in the Bronx.
We work in the Hunts Point section of the South Bronx.
And the Hunts Point section of the South Bronx is one of the poorest sections in the United States, yes?
The Hunts Point neighborhood is part of the 15th Congressional District, which has the highest rate of childhood poverty in the country. In 2015, actually, the Citizens Committee for Children of New York put out a risk ranking where they looked at every community district in the city, and Hunts Point was actually found to have the highest risk for youth and children in New York City compared to Tribeca, which was actually had the lowest risk.
Fascinating. So there was an opportunity. Anytime there's a challenge, there's always an opportunity. So who saw this opportunity, and let's talk about how the organization was created.
Great. So the organization was co-founded by Marianne Hedda and Griselle Barrett in 2006. At the time, Marianne was the principal of St. Ignatius School, and she saw a need for the other principals and the executive directors of the nonprofits working in the community to come together and really carve out a vision of educational success for the neighborhood. And it was a year later. I had just finished a fellowship. I was clerking at Bronx Family Court, and I was looking at education outcomes for court-involved youth. And so I came to the end of my fellowship, and there was this day where the judge had given me an individualized education plan to look at, and she said, you know, can you look at this child's IEP? He's in special education and he's in foster care, and I'm not sure what the right thing to do is. And I looked at it, and at the end it said that in order to pass on to the 5th grade, he only needed to score 2% proficiency on the state exam.
Wow.
It was incredible. It was one of those moments where I just thought, nobody is paying attention to this young child. And so at that moment I realized that I wanted to work in education in New York City and make sure that every child had a caring adult that was behind them.
What are some of the services that your organization provides?
So the Hunts Point Alliance for Children has 3 teams of direct service programming, and we work with about 300 children and their families every year. So the first is our early childhood program, and we know that the way that the brain forms, that really if you want to make an impact on how children learn, early childhood and before age 5 is one of the most important times. So we have a series of programs where we work with the youngest learners and their families. And then we have what we call our youth development team, which is really the beginning of our community to college pipeline. And we start with the Shakespeare program, which starts in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. Students from all of the neighborhood schools in Hunts Point participate, and they put on a full-length Shakespeare play. And so just a preview, in 2017 we're doing Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, well that's the classic, isn't it? And you were telling me that those students that stay with you for a 4-year period, they have a 100% graduation rate, which is amazing for having such a low literacy rate in their neighborhood.
Exactly. So one of the things that we do is as the students move from the Shakespeare program into our middle school programming, we really try and keep all the same children in our programs because we believe that working with kids over a long period of time makes the biggest difference. Because in that way they're able to develop relationships and really get the biggest benefit from our literacy program.
And then they're seeing individuals who are able to provide other options in their life than what they're seeing at home.
Absolutely. I mean, so much of this Tale of Two Cities is really about opportunity. And so that's another piece of our programming is we want to make sure that the students have an opportunity to see different parts of the city, to see adults working in different types of jobs, and to really see themselves as capable and able to take those types of jobs as well.
And then one of the things that really impressed me was that you're not just working with children, but you're working with families to provide the support that they need, because if they're not getting the support at home, it's not going to transfer over to extra school activities. So tell us what you do with the families.
Yeah. So one of the things that we firmly believe is that every family wants the best for its children. And so in addition to our programming directly for the youth, we have a social worker and 2 case managers that work with families and help them set goals, whether they're stability goals or ways that families can move out of crisis, and then hopefully eventually to set education goals either for themselves and particularly for their children. We would love more people to become involved, and there's a couple things that you can do. One of the things is that we love to have people come visit us in Hunts Point and really spread awareness of the amazing neighborhood and the amazing children that are there. The second thing is that every year we have a career fair, and so if anyone is interested in being an adult that would like to share stories of their own career path and what they do for a living. And lastly, one of the things that we do at the Hunts Point Alliance for Children is provide high school tuition support and scholarships for our scholars. And we would love anyone who's interested in contributing to our scholarship fund to get a hold of me and come up and take a tour and meet some of our students.
And is there a website? Is that the best place for them to initially reach out to you?
Yeah, our website is www.huntspoint.org. And there we have a donate page where you can contribute to our scholarship fund or any of our other programs. And it also has more information about our students and all of our programming.
You know, what I love is that your first suggestions were to actually give of your time instead of your money. And if you can give of your money, great. But giving of your time is maybe even more important. So Jill, it was so nice talking to you, and I love how you inspire me and so many other people.
Thank you so much, Patrick.